Hello, this is Hui. Welcome to watch my video, C++ programming on Linux. In this short video, it will discuss another popular usage of Libssh, opening remote shell, an interactive SSH client. Comparison of previous video's example, executing command on remote host versus opening a remote shell. Both process allows you to execute command on a remote host and read the response. But the key difference are process of requesting to execute a command on a remote host is more like a backend batch shell, whereas opening a remote shell is much more useful for interactive shell applications. Here on our Ubuntu Linux, we will write a C++ program that opening a remote shell and interactively execute command on remote host. The process for opening a remote shell has many command steps compared to process of executing a command on a remote host. Both processes require you to establish a SSH session, create a channel, open a session on the channel for a special task. So to save time and avoid retyping, we will start from previous video's example and update it to interactively opening a remote shell model. Here we're going to create a new program, SSH cmd remote shell.cpp. We are going to import from previous video's example and update it. R SSH cmd blocking.cpp. For opening a remote shell model, command will be executed interactively on the terminal. So instead of get command from command line argument, here the usage will take only 3 arguments: server, port, and login ID. So we need to change here. Get server from argument 1, port number from argument 2, and login ID from argument 3. Since no need to input the command from command line, we delete this 4 line for dd, and we still get a password from the console, and if password input is okay, we start the SSH session functions. Here is the SSH session functions. Step 1, start a new SSH session, no change. Step 2, set up session options, host, log, port number, user ID, no change. Step 3, session connect to remote, SSH connect, no change. And step 4, authenticate login password, SSH user author password, no change. After authenticate login and the password, we need to allocate a new channel to YY. If channel is none, it means error. Print error message, return SSH error. Step 6, channel, open a new subsession. Copy this line, paste here. If rc 3yy, copy this 3 line, print an error message, free the channel resource, and return SSH error. Now we are going to delete loop execute command on remote code 116.192.d. For writing open a remote shell model, Step 7 will be optionally request a pursued terminal using SSH channel request PTY and SSH channel change PTY size. Copy this 5 line, 5YY. If return code is SSH error, we're going to close channel, free channel, print the error message, and return SSH error. Print which function get error, error code, and error message. Next, rc equal channel change PTY size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Copy this 6 line, 6YY. If return code is error, we'll close channel, free channel, and print the error message. Which function get error, what is the error code, and error message. Step 8 will be channel request remote shell. Function SSH channel request shell. Copy this 8 line, 8YY. If return code is error, we close channel, free channel, print error message. Function get error, error code, error description, and then return SSH error. After function SSH channel request shell, our shell will be on the remote. So step 9 will be set local terminal raw model with cf make raw functions. Cf make raw function is a Linux function. Term iOS function describe a general terminal interface that is provided to control asynchronous communication parts. This is a standard Linux function, so we're not focused on this terminal function. We just use this. Back to our editor. This function, reset local terminal in raw model, will help you asynchronize keyboard typing. Step 10 will be the loop interactive remote shell sessions. First, we need to declare some buffer and a variable. When the channel is open and the channel is not EOF, receiving buffer and send buffer. In the loop, first we read channel using no blocking model. If NA bytes greater than 0, we write receiving date to the standard output. Number 1 is the FD for the STT out. And reset receiving buffer and continue. If NA byte less than 0, it means error. If there's no press on the keyboard, then we sleep 0.5 seconds and continue. Try to read again. If there's some press on the keyboard, memory set send buffer. 0 is standard input, std in. If any bytes greater than 0, it means we have a command type in from the keyboard. We send command to the channel, exit from the loop. We're going to send EOF, close and free the channel. Waiting once the channel is EOF. If channel is open, then we close the channel. Read the channel allocated resource. Next, disconnect, free the session, and return the return code. Now we have finished update from execute command on the remote host to the open remote session model. So we save our program, WQ. Now our program has been updated and saved. Compile our program. Now our program has been compiled. Here is our executable. To test our executable, we're going to connect to our Debian Linux from Ubuntu Linux. So the Debian Linux IP address 10.0.0.124, port number 22, Linux SSH server, login ID. Now type in password. After typing password, connected, and now in the Debian Linux remote shell, host name, this is our host name. Release is the Debian Linux. We have 3 txt file. We type this text file and we exit from remote shell. And then we back to our Ubuntu Linux. As we see, both execute command on the remote host and open a remote shell can run command on the remote host. But using open a remote shell model, it can be interactively run the command, and using request execute command model, run the batch command in backend. Now we have finished write our first example, SSH cmd remote shell.cpp, which running open remote shell using lab SSH. As we mentioned, lab SSH provides an object-oriented interface, the C++ wrapper, which is easy to merge and integrate lab SSH code into your C++ project. So now we are going to write exact example using lab C++ wrapper. First, we will create a customized .hpp file, create a class mySession, inherit from SSH session class. Here is our customized class mySession, inherit from the SSH session class. And in our customized session, we create 2 methods, cfMakeRaw, which is setting the local terminal to raw model with the cfMakeRaw function. Is a standard function under Linux. second method, key be hit. This is a Linux function, determine whether a key has been pressed. So now we're going to create a program. We're going to import from previous videos example r ssh cpp exception.cpp. First, we're going to include our customized HPP file and the usage. Not input command from the command line argument. Delete this 4 line for dd. Get password from the console. If password is okay, call function ssh session functions. First, we're going to define some buffer and a variable. Now we are going to use our customized session. Step 2, set up a session option, no change. Step 3, session connect to remote, no change. And step 4, session user authenticate login password, will be no change. Step 5 will be allocate a new channel, 3dd. 3YY. Step 6, channel open a new subsession, delete all the code. Step 7 will be optionally request pursuit terminal using request PTY and change PTY size. Step 8 will be channel request remote shell. And set local terminal raw model. Now we'll do loop. While channel is open and not UF. For each loop, if NA bytes greater than 0, write received message to the std out. Reset memory. Continue receiving. If NA byte less than 0 means error. Received NA byte is 0. If there's a keyboard pressed, we're going to type command into the send buffer. Read 0, which is the std in to the send buffer. If NA bytes greater than 0, it means there's a command typed in. Write send buffer to channel. UF to channel. Waiting channel is UF. Channel is open. Then close the channel. Then disconnect the session. Now we finished write our program. We're going to save it. We'll compile our program, and now our program has been compiled. Here is our executable. Now we're going to test our executable. First argument, server, port number 22, default SSH server, login ID. Now we type in password. After input the password, we have a connect remote session, which is YH Debian, and our local is Ubuntu Linux. Hostname Debian, and we cat Debian Linux test file. Now we exit from remote shell. We back to our Ubuntu Linux. The example of this video can also be performed through Linux command SSH. You can see we connect to remote shell, Debian Linux, hostname, text file on remote shell, exit from remote shell. Hello, this is Hui. Thanks for watching my video. Wish it's helpful, and it's going to be great to have your feedback.